Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Mad City Summer Shootout. I'm Dazzer, and joined with me is the Sharky Man himself, Sven today, and we are going to get into our next matchup, maybe 1v2 versus last to arrive.
Yeah, it's going to be very exciting to see. Earlier today, we saw maybe 1v2 play decently. I know that they lost on the matchup that they were on stream. Still playing pretty decent today overall. Last to arrive, though, of course, consisting of Alpha and I can't recall the second. Calvin, thank you. So they're going to be going on facing off against them here. So it's going to be an exciting matchup. I think this team is definitely balanced, and curious to see what's going to come out of it for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. For those who don't know, this is the Alpha that runs College Cardball, the one for the famous Jacob Hat. He has it here today. We'll try to see if we can bring that on stream.
I know it's over in the corner. I'll have to see if I can try to pull someone to grab it here. We'll have to try to find someone that gets the cue over here. I don't know if they're going to be able to notice it or not. But anyway, facing off against Alpha here, it's going to be pretty exciting as teams are already joining. Yep. So with that, the break was long enough. And we're time, and we're ready to rock and roll. As we're sitting here at the Mad City 2v2 shootout, and I'm excited it's going to be. How about you, Dez?
Oh, I'm definitely excited. We're getting right into this one. As honestly, what's your favorite going into this one? I'm rooting for Alpha as he already puts a goal on the board right off the kickoff.
Seconding that opinion for sure. I'm looking to see what's going to come out of them. Obviously, Alpha striking first off of that successful kickoff that went their way. So let's see what happens. I think what it's going to come down to is, of course, we saw Sour Flowers and Curse play decent earlier, but if they can get that improvement and play a little bit more solid defense, we'll see if they're going to be able to pull this one out.
Yeah, 4 minutes and 50 seconds left, and already another shot. This time on the blue side, Curse tying up the game. Yeah,
as that 50-50 exchange left that ball straight in the middle over to Curse, who was able to nail that one right back down. Excellent shot coming in from him here. We're already in 12 seconds. Very, very well done from both sides here. Like as if nothing ever happened. Sitting at 1-1. Tie ball game here as we've got Sour Flowers trying to take the dribble. Leaving that now over for Calvin. Exchange that back with Curse. That 50-50 goes his way, just wide. That's trying to take a shot on net, but a good save from Flowers in hand. And now to Alpha. Pass to the middle. No one's there. So it leaves that Curse is going to take the clear. Flowers. Now back to the middle. Leaving that shot for Curse to potentially take that on, but a save from Alpha comes in. Well done to come in at the last second. Now we've got Alpha. Takes that from Flowers. Now he's over to the corner. See if he can get a pass to his teammate. Ball goes off net. Calvin's not there. Curse can go, but he can't execute on it in time. Minute through, we haven't seen any crazy things happen except for the first 12 seconds, I guess.
Yeah, first 12 seconds. I mean, both teams went back and forth with shots in the net. Now what we're seeing is just extended pressure from both sides, but teams are starting to rotate more on point. You have, when Alpha goes up, Calvin's always back, just ready to make a save and challenge. And then Curse is also being a great second rotation as well, coming in at the right time. As I want to say, as the tournament's progressed, these guys have gotten more and more in tune and in sync with each other. Because this has been a very tight match. We haven't had another goal for about the next minute, but we've seen some opportunities.
Taking off the floor, or Flowers, excuse me. He's going to take that over to the wall. Looking to create a shot on net. He can't, so that's going to leave that over to Calvin. Takes it clear off to the midfield. Now on net is Calvin. Taking that over is Curse. Pushing that to the corner. Up in the air, we've got Alpha. Passing that over to Calvin. No, he leaves. So that ball's up in the air. Flowers is going to get to it first. Now back in midfield, Calvin looking to create an opportunity off the backboard. He's going to leave that one be. And Curse is going to take that one away. Alpha can't get the execution, leaving that now for Flowers. Flowers is going to take the shot, potentially on net. Curse trying to redirect it, but he can't. As a good save from Calvin comes in play. Curse now trying to create a shot. Right back at Calvin. Now he's off to the corner. He's going to see if he's going to follow that forward. Now Flowers, back to Alpha. Ping pong action coming through as we see Calvin. Off to the midfield, right back to Flowers. Interesting to see. We haven't seen a team really come in with possession, but Flowers surprisingly coming through with that shot. Didn't really expect that to go in, honestly.
Yeah, so Flowers just getting a nice shot. It bounces off of the ceiling, and then Alpha can't get quite there. I was gonna make a comment just based on how well Alpha and Calvin have been playing on defense, but they weren't able to make that save. So now they're gonna be down one as we approach the 2 minute and 15 second mark. They got to score. They have enough time, though.
Alpha now with the dribble off to the corner. Like you said, 2 minutes left. Anything can still happen. They're down only 1. Off to Alpha. He can't get the pass over, so now let's Curse. Over on the wall. See if he can't take that over. Calvin trying to contest. He does win the 50-50. Now to Flars over on the side. Back off the wall, right back up to the middle.
Oh.
That shot from Purdue just wide. I said Purdue from Alpha. I know he's from Purdue. College Carball Association. Quite an exciting adventure there, but the Flars coming in. Great save for Alpha coming in, but the rebound from Curse is going to now put him up 2.
Yeah, that was a great save from Alpha. Ball was practically in the net. Gets there and saves it. Calvin can't turn around in time. Curse is already on his way with that executed rotation, and then just ends up sending the shot right past them. Maybe a 1v2 up in this one by 2. We'll see if Last to Arrive can bring it back.
On here is Curse trying to win. That ball is in the center. Teammate isn't there for the rotation. Now coming back, we got Flars back and centered. Leaves that to Calvin to direct that back. Now to Curse. Pass off the wall. That ball's in the middle. Potentially dangerous. But a good stop comes in play there, as Calvin was able to knock that one away. Alpha. Right back over to Calvin. Looking to create that breakaway. Over to Alpha. He's going to take a shot on net. Right on the crossbar. Rebound. That's going to go wide. Now sitting a minute left here. They need to make 2 goals happen and make them happen quick.
Yeah, they are doing a great job and just applying offensive pressure, but they've had some opportunities. Got to be able to get to the ball quickly and then make that touch accurately. We've seen times where they're fast to the ball, but sometimes it results in a whiff, and that can throw you off on defense and set you back humongously. We're starting to see Soul Flayers. They're coming out making long bomb clears, which only makes the time go down faster. And these guys, they had 45 seconds. Now after that, they only have 30.
Sitting here again, 2-goal lead. Shot on net coming from Flars. Well done and well placed. As now that gives them a 3-goal lead and making it a lot less likely that they're going to be able to come back.
Yeah, great shot placement on this one. Sees where Calvin is. Calvin's expecting him to send the ball straight to him. Alpha's kind of trying to protect the side of the net, but Flars sends it to the right as he can and just gets it out of Alpha's reach. That 4th goal scored from maybe a 1v2 might have sealed the deal.
Offensive pressure from maybe a 1v2 is really coming in as Calvin's finally able to put one on the board. But the question is, could it potentially be too late?
That is the question. It could start something with the momentum train. We've seen these guys score off of a kickoff before. That could be something that ends up happening. 20 seconds, roughly 20 seconds, 19. They have to score 2.
Now sitting at 18 seconds after that kickoff. That does go over into their side as now Curse takes that over onto the wall, leaves that for Calvin. He's going to try to go for the bounce, and now the shot from Flars on net. Saved by Purdue. He's going to try to create something here, but 3 seconds left to go. Looking like that this is going to carry out to Last to Arrive. To maybe a 1v2. I'll eventually get these right. And sure enough, is going to go to maybe 1v2. After that first matchup, really kind of struggling. Now seeing them play as well as they did right now, definitely seeing some potential for him for sure.
Yeah, they were able to come back and score in the last second. They know they don't have. I'm sorry. Ooh, I'm just
you're catching me.
Yeah, right?
I think it was the Chicago-style hot dog I had earlier. I'm not from here, so if I have a Chicago-style in Chicago, I think that's what happens.
Hey, that's what happens.
That's my excuse, at least.
It's okay. I have my excuses, too. But no, Last to Arrive, they did pretty well toward the end of the match to show that it wasn't just like a 1-goal fluke. They were able to come back and score again against maybe a 1v2, but maybe a 1v2 just controlled most of the matchup, had pretty solid rotations, and were quick to the ball, accurate with their shots, and overall pressure at Last to Arrive. It's Last to Arrive, they just have to work on just controlling the ball, creating opportunities and knocking it down. I think that'll be detrimental to their game too.
Yeah, I agree. I think one thing that I want to see for sure, maybe a 1v2, kind of like we saw earlier in today's matchups, where there was this sense that they were giving them too much space. I feel like that's kind of happening again as a sense of deja vu. Because I'm seeing where maybe 1v2 came in with, I believe it was 11 shots on net. Now seeing what Alpha and Calvin can do. We'll see if they're going to be able to follow us up and play a little bit of a more solid defense coming up here.
Yeah, only one way to see as well. We've gotten to this game, no fluke kickoff goals, but that's an impressive shot from Alpha.
A great upper 90 is going to nail them on the board here in the first 16 seconds.
Yeah, he's sitting there at the mid boost. Calvin ditches it out to him, and then he puts a lot of power on that, getting it, like you said, into the upper 90 zone. Curse and Soulflowers just weren't in the right spot to make that save. Great shot, great start for Last to Arrive.
On a side note, I definitely want to give Alpha some respect for how cool his Mantis looks. Just the color coordination and the Alpha hat is a bonus for me.
Yeah, he got the wheels matching too.
Gosh, you know, sometimes there's those people that they have fresh kicks. These guys have fresh wheels.
Oh, yeah. And he has that sweet boost. He's looking nice. But will it transition over to gameplay? Probably yes, as it's all about the prettiest cars here.
Calvin here is trying to create the shot on net. He's going to be able to get it. His Curse is not going to be able to recover off the wall in time. Now putting him up too.
Yeah, and this could be the start of momentum. The snowball rolling here. Calvin gets a nice, impressive shot. Curse tries to go for the read, but ends up misreading that play. He makes it an easy shot for Calvin. Now, Last to Arrive, up by 2.
Good offensive execution within this first minute. Let's see if they can hold it off on the defensive end now, as Curse is going to take the pass off of the wall. He can't get it in time. He's going to go up the crossbar. But rebound shot from Flores, saved from Calvin, but he can't clear it out in time, leaving it for Flores to get his own rebound. And now within 1 now.
Yeah, you see after Calvin made the first save, he was expecting a lot of power from Flores, so he kept boosting up and then tried to boost down, realizing that Flores could just send it easily under him. That's exactly what he does. 3 goals scored in the first minute, maybe a 1v2 down by 1. They definitely can bring it back, but we'll see if they can, or if Last to Arrive can actually hold this lead for Game 3.
Up to Calvin's trying to create a demo, but he's just going to take the boost on the other side as Curse is able to get the save here from Purdue's Alpha's shot. I want to keep calling him Purdue for some reason. Apparently I'm considering him the face of Purdue. Maybe it's just because of college. Anyway, pass from Alpha on target here in the center, but teammate wasn't able to get to it in time. Following back to the other side. We've got Flores pass to the middle. Calvin's in a bad spot, and Curse is going to take it to the other end and tie it up.
Yeah, shout out to Flores for this pass, though. Ends up just bouncing it off the corner, gets it wide to where Calvin can't get there unless he's already has momentum. He doesn't because he's in the net. Curse goes up, knows exactly where to send this pass. I want to say past Calvin. Now ties the game back up. We're sitting at 2-2 with 3:20 left.
High pass from Alpha. Cleared back to the other side is from Curse. It's Calvin and Flores trying to exchange, but they don't end up hitting anything. Now off to Curse. Shot on net. He ends up rolling that off with his wheels with a return shot back, but Flores luckily is back in time in order to get the save there. Curse over to the corner. See if he can set up his teammate. He can't do so as Calvin's able to take that one away from him. Now trying to create that dribble opportunity. Coming on top. Oh, the Fields backflip, man, from Flores at the last second. Yeah. And that's going to hurt him.
Both backflipping, but Calvin backflipping just so he could pop it up from Flores. And Flores backflips because he's trying to get up in time. Ends up double tapping too quickly because he's still aiming. Ends up doing a backflip. Very unfortunate. And now Last to Arrive have retaken the lead.
Alpha trying to set that up for his teammate. That ball still staying over the middle, leaving that over to Flores, who's now going to go for the dribble opportunity. Tries to get it over Calvin. He's not able to do so. Now to Curse, over in the corner. Pass to the center. Teammate, if he can be there, he can. And that's going to tie the game right back up with a great shot from Flores.
Great patient play for maybe a 1v2. They bring the ball up slowly, try to see if they can mess up the defense, and then once Calvin goes out to get boost, they see they only have to get the ball past Alpha. Curse ditches it to the middle. So Flores puts it in. That's great team chemistry coming in from these guys. We'll see if that ends up helping them out here.
Curse, pass up the back wall, back over to Flores. He can't do anything with it, so that's going to leave it over to Calvin. Puts it right back over to Flores. 50-50 exchange. Leaves that over for Calvin. He's going to miss that. Is now Curse. Shot on net. That's going to go over. Alpha out of position. That's going to cost him, as now they're looking to be up 1.
Yeah, very unfortunate. Curse ends up just booming this one. Alpha doesn't think he can get up in time. He probably could have made that save. But either way, ends up flat-footed on the play. Now it's going to cost him a goal. Maybe a 1v2, up 4-3. This game has almost been a shootout. Can Alpha do it? Oh, he just can't. As we have 7 goals and we still have 2 minutes left on the clock.
Sitting at past halfway, we'll see if we can follow up with it here. As a lead right now for maybe a 1v2. It's coming in handy, but oh, off the backboard, Alpha can't execute again. There's those couple shots that we've seen over here from last to arrive that really just haven't resonated with execution.
Yeah, they've had some opportunities, just haven't been able to knock them down. Then the other ones that they spend so much time trying to create just get blocked out for maybe a 1v2. Either Curse or Soul Flayers comes through, clear the ball up, and then you look at their positioning, they'll sit wide, and they have a lot of trust in each other when moving up and making plays, to where although a long bomb clear could result in a goal for them, they don't even worry about it. They play their game, and they trust that one or the other has the ball when they're going up for a challenge.
Speaking of that, they really haven't punished a lot of mistakes here. But on a side note, Flores is going to get the demo, almost gets the goal right off of it. But luckily, that was able to hit the post just in time. Curse hits it right back at Alpha. Ball's back in the center. No one's going to be able to get to it, though, in time, so that's going to leave it to Alpha. Taking it to the other side. Flyers here with the ball now. Over on the wall. Still trying to maintain possession, but Calvin's going to stop it from him. Leaving that now to Curse. Exchanging that 50-50 with Alpha. Now over to his end. Now we'll see if Flores is going to take that over to the corner and execute anything with it. He can't. Flores is able to get the whiff here. Potentially a mind game question mark. As now that ball sitting in the center once again. Calvin is now going to push that to the front. He doesn't get the touch on it. That is Flores. Now Calvin. Some ping pong action right now. The ball's just going in and out, and Calvin's able to actually get that one away. I was very shocked to see he was able to get that one.
Yeah, ends up winning 250, well, not 250-50s. Curse sends the ball towards him, and then Soulflare sends the ball towards him. But then after that challenge, he just ends up following it in as best as he can. That's going to tie it up as we approach the final 10 seconds. This could very well go into OT.
We're sitting at 10 seconds left to go, 4-4. We'll see if someone can come out with the last second shot. If not, we're going to OT. That ball's in the center and potentially dangerous. Alpha almost able to execute on that one, but sure enough, first game of the matchup, second game, we're going to be taking this out to overtime.
Yep, now we're in overtime. Both teams performing very well at this stage of the game. You see last to arrive, they want to force that game 3. They have to, but this is a dangerous spot. Calvin ends up making the clear. Soul Flares and Curse trying to apply as much pressure as they can to force a mistake, but ends up getting cleared out from last to arrive's defense. This is going to be a very tight OT.
Flores gets demoed. Now that ball's going to carry over to Calvin. Up on the corner, but stopped by Curse. Now we got Alpha. Hits that right back at Flores. He's got the ball once again. As both players end up tackling him. Get that away from his hands. Now to Curse. He gets dunked over here by Alpha. Back to the opposite side. See what happens here as we have Flores. It's that right back at Calvin. Tries to hit it off the backboard, but he can't do so. Calvin, once again, right off to the side. Just wide here. Flores now with the dribble, see if he can do anything with the ball. He's going to try to go for the demo, it looked like, but he came back. As you'll notice, his teammate was just out of reach there. Flores back to the midfield. Alpha is not underneath the ball. Looks like a shot on net coming from Curse, and Alpha can't go to it in time, and that's going to leave it to him, 2-0 series.
Yeah, now it's going to be 2-0. Very unfortunate. Alpha did have an opportunity to just end up knocking the ball to the side. Anything to get it out of a clear shot from the net. Ends up trying to leave it because he wants to rotate back in defense and just bring it downfield instead of keeping it in his own end. Ended up costing him. Curse takes the overtime goal, and they're going to move on.
Yeah, very impressive. Just, again, like I said before, just seeing what came from the last matchup we saw from them, how it looked like they were struggling on that defensive end, and really turned a page in this last matchup where you finally see them come in with the plays that they did. I definitely want to give recommendation to Flores for some of the great passes that he had for sure.
Those two definitely. Like you talk about that 3 assists from him. 1 assist from Curse. Curse had 3 goals, so every goal Curse scored was assisted. And then he ended up giving help from Soul Flores. But all in all, it was a pretty solid matchup between those two. And last arrived, they put up a tough fight. Don't get me wrong. They went into OT, came back from the deficit of game 1 and looked to almost force a game 3 at a couple of points. Just couldn't finish it.
There was a couple execution things that was unfortunate. There was a couple shots from Alpha and from Calvin that were either a simple save or a minor shot that was an open net or something. It was just, it's those little details, you know, in Rocky League when you have it, that if you miss it by 5 degrees, it could be a monumental difference on your shot. And we saw a testament of that for sure. As we had, I think it was 3 or 4 shots from Alpha when he came through and had the 2 open nets, excuse me, that ended up going completely wide.
Yeah, exactly. It was it's pretty insane the way that those two work together. I mean, Alpha and Calvin worked together very well, and they were able to follow each other up. There was just some moments that they left a slight hole in the defense, and then it was easily capitalized.
Yep.
Whereas for maybe 1 versus 2, those guys were all on top of it. They played the reaction game. It ended up working out for them, and they were aggressive, super aggressive on the ball. Both teams kind of lacking a little bit in defense. They had some holes that probably will be capitalized on by other teams later on in the bracket, so they got to watch out for that. They got to pick up and clean up on defense, work on rotations, and try out new things, because we've seen some teams actually get pretty physical in this tournament so far as well.
Yeah, there's been, I think, 2 games in particular, and I can't recall off the top of my head what they were, but one thing that kind of surprised me was when you see some of these plays, how it goes in, and you see how physical play can sometimes be the monumental difference in some of these games, where you would see someone go for a dribble and they were going too slow. So instead of going and tackling the ball, forcing that 50-50 and clearing it to another side, they would just take out the player and leave the opportunity for their teammate. I mean, we saw that in the last game. We saw that 2 games ago previously. So I think that's one of the big things that we see coming out of it for sure.
Yeah, and then, you know, in these 2v2 environments, the tiniest hole in defense, like anything, whether it's someone missing a challenge on the ball or just leaving a small amount of space open for anyone to take any type of thought out shot, is almost it's very like worrisome, very detrimental. You know, it's not a trend you want to keep up. So you got to expect those guys, hopefully as the tournament progresses, they can fix up those defensive holes.